I gained 20 pounds during the quarantine because I got into crock pots real heavy. We've all messed around with a crock pot or two, but I bought a power strip. I started running 4 or 5 at a time. I could not believe that they invented something I could forget about and absolutely nail, you know? It's crazy. I've got ADHD. Crock pots were made for me. They were. I mean, it's unreal. People come over, they're like, Derrick, what'd you do to the beans? I'm like, I forgot about them. 13 hours on low. How about that? Yeah. Didn't even know they were in here. They're unbelievable, okay?
I just love fast food. I can't get enough of it, you know? Like, I love McDonald's. But the problem is I'm in my 30s now. I can't eat it like I used to. You know, I was in high school. I could eat like 3 Big Macs, finish out the day like a hummingbird. I had 1 Big Mac the other day. I felt like a grizzly bear that got shot like a sedative dart. You know? Sir, you can't lie down. It's a McDonald's.
I grew up in like a Big Lots part of the United States. Do you guys know what Big Lots is? Yeah? Who doesn't? Who doesn't know what Big Lots is? I'm gonna explain it to you guys, and congratulations. You lucky bastards. I'm gonna explain Big Lots to you. Imagine Kmart in the middle of a divorce. That's Big Lots. It's like an unshowered Kmart. You woke up, you know? Like you walk in and you're like, are you open? And it goes, your dad took the shelves. We're a piles and bins family now. Dig around. That's Big Lots slogan if you don't know. Dig around. You want a DVD? Check the spoon aisle. I don't know. This was a yard sale till someone built a prison around it.
Just got a text from a friend of mine today, one of my best friends back in LA. He's gonna propose to his girlfriend next weekend, so I got about 6 days to stop that. She sucks. I can't stand this lady. They've only been together a year and he's already gonna marry her. Smart. This is the kind of girl she is. It was a year ago, he brought her around as my friend's new girlfriend. I'm trying to make her feel welcome. You know, it's the first night we ever met. I'm trying to talk to her. Somehow we started talking about Europe. And somewhere in that conversation, I mentioned I'd never been to Europe. And when I said I'd never been to Europe, you would have thought that I got up, kicked her in the chest, and ran out of the bar. She was so mad that I'd never been to Europe. She like made us sing. She's like, "You've never been to Europe? You've never been to Europe? How have you never been to Europe? Are you serious that are you being serious with me right now that you've never been to Europe? Luke, did you know that Brandon has never been to Europe? How old are you? How have you never been to Europe? How have you made it this far in your life? And look, lady, it's easy. It's the easiest thing I've ever done. I just didn't go. I didn't even know I was doing it until we had this conversation. Watch this. Not going.
And now I don't do any of it. Now I don't do any of it anymore. I'm sober, married, monogamous, took anger management classes, court ordered, and so this is me now, and this is the only type of person my kids have ever known because it's been a long time since I drank. And so it's tough because when you have teenagers, you know that they get to a certain age and they start to think that they're cool and that you're not, which is a phenomenon because you raised them. You've known them their whole lives, and you know they're not cool at all. And you know that you are, and yet you gotta listen to them like, oh, Dad, you're so out of it. Dad, you don't get it. Dad, you don't know how to download. It's like, hey, you don't know me, motherfucker. You don't know who I was. I used to be very cool. You know when I stopped being cool? When you two were born. Before that, very cool. Way cooler than you will ever be. You know why you won't be as cool as I was? Because you're not being raised by an abusive, alcoholic parent. That's why. And that can change. You're not cool. What are you, 14? When I was 14, I was high at dinner. Every night. Look at you. You're not even high. I was baked out of my mind, laughing. Look at you all clear-eyed, normal. I used to get in a fist fight every day after school. You wear a helmet to ride a bicycle. When I was a kid, only the really good athletes got trophies. Now they're handing them out to the white kids, too. You don't know.
My wife and I, we like to cook together, and that's pretty fun. Sometimes we'll do those subscription services that help you cook. You know, HelloFresh? Yeah, if you don't know what that is, that's one of those subscription services where they send you in a box everything that you need to make dinner and all of the ingredients to have an enormous fight. Just right there in the box. They got a tiny kitchen that's hot, just lots of chopping, tarragon, do you even love me anymore? All that, right in the box, right in there. And then they want you to rate it. They're like, what'd you think of HelloFresh? Yep, eating in silence was a wonderful change. Thanks a lot, HelloFresh. Someone got us an Instant Pot for our wedding registry. I hate this thing. I hate the Instant Pot. People are very into the Instant Pot, and I gotta tell you, it is not instant, and it is not a pot. It is a pressure cooker, and it is a crock of lies. That's what it is. It is not a miracle worker. People are like, it makes rice in 5 minutes. It takes 20 minutes to get hot. So what are we doing here? No, Ryan, it replaces your yogurt maker. I'm sorry, what did you just say to me? It replaces my what? Also, what a way to find out yogurt just doesn't happen naturally in the earth. I thought it was like a cranberry bog, like you got the cranberry, you got the yogurt spring. That's how we do it. Put it in the cup. Put it in the cup. No, the Instant Pot's awesome, dude. It's awesome. Dude, it cooks 15 eggs in 6 minutes. Yeah, they don't even sell them in that quantity. So what do we... I hate it. Every time we use it, we gotta release the pressure, and it just sprays hot water and mist all over my house. My kitchen is the size of this stage. It's just spraying mist everywhere. It's like walking through a jungle. My dog's hair's puffed up. But oh joy, there's yogurt.
A couple of weeks ago, my young niece, she didn't feel well, and my sister took her temperature with a laser gun. Beep, you seen that laser gun? Beep, yeah, you seen that? Yeah. Where was that technology in the 70s? There was a planet full of children that could have used that technology in the 70s. And I see young people in the audience, and I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you know what we went through. But when you sneezed, or when you had the sniffles when I was little, they had to get up your ass very quickly. Nobody talks about that. I feel like it didn't need to happen. No one talks about it. Let's talk about it now. I don't know why the common cold in the 70s was so closely related to sodomy. I don't know why my word to my mother that I didn't feel well wasn't good enough for her. Like I said, when you sneezed in 1978, it got real weird real fast. I used to sneeze in the closet for fear of retaliation. Seriously, I was like, you are never getting me. I will eat an apple every day and I will sneeze amongst these coats. For the younger people, this is how it would go down when I was younger. My mom would feel my forehead and be like, he feels hot. And then my dad would be like, yeah, but how hot? Hear me out. Why don't we stick this glass rod up his hole? Really get to the bottom of it. At that point, you are doing more damage than the cold. Common cold goes away 2-3 days. Forced penetration sticks around. I feel like we needed one reasonable adult in the 70s that could have changed the course of history for us. Just one to be like, you know what, I felt his forehead, he feels warm. Good enough for me. I swear to you, I felt like I had a gaggle of adults around me at all times, like, you need to penetrate this sick little boy now, or we'll never know if he needs a cough drop. Now bend the boy over, stick the mercury up his hole against his will, or how will we know if he needs plenty of liquids? I know some of you are saying, what about under the tongue? No, I was one of 4, okay? I don't know who was reamed prior. You start with hole, you stick with hole. Under the tongue is no longer an option. It's a glorious time for temperatures, so soak it up, really soak it up. Because one day my children are not going to know what I went through, and I thought about it, and I do not think that is fair. So I will split the difference. I will take their temperature using the laser gun, but I will shove that up there.
I eat a lot when I'm stressed. Oh my God, you should see what I eat. It is such junk. I love sugar, cookies, cake, ice cream. If I were to come over to your house and you brought out a platter of warm, homemade chocolate chip cookies, which I would expect, I would eat every single one of those cookies with no embarrassment. Even online, when they go, accept cookies? Yeah, I accept cookies. And I accept milk. My wife looked at me the other day. She goes, those pants are looking a little tight on you, those jeans. I said, yeah, because you got the heat up too high in the dryer. She goes, no, I think you got the stack of cookies up too high on your plate. Yeah, I mean, it's salt. I love salt too. Popcorn, who doesn't like popcorn? You ever been eating popcorn at somebody's house and start wondering if their popcorn bowl was also their throw-up bowl? Because it is our house. Bagels, I like bagels. I like to order the everything bagel and then ask the server to put the everything on the side. Because I may not want all of the everything, I may want some of the everything. Alcohol, not so much for me. A couple glasses of wine once in a while, but not so much. My friend Steve had a big problem with drinking. Oh my God, Steve, he really hit rock bottom and we were really concerned and we loved him. So we decided that we would do an intervention. And I have never been part of an intervention on this side before. You know what I'm saying? And the night we were gonna go over there, we were all so nervous, we started having a few drinks. You know what I mean? And then a few more after that. And by the time I got to his house, I was so wasted. He was my designated driver to get me home. But the intervention did take place about a month later, but it was for me this time. Do you know what the most stressful job in the world is? Air traffic controller. But not if you don't take it seriously. I grind my teeth at night now. I grind my teeth. Any teeth grinders here? I could hear them. I could hear your teeth grinding. I gotta wear a night guard at night and a retainer on the bottom. Sexy. And get this, 6 months ago I found out I have sleep apnea. So now I gotta wear this full face mask with a hose pumping air in and out on top of the night guard and the retainer and probably a few cookies in there.
And however you're raising your kids and how I'm raising my kid, it's so much gentler than we were raised in the 80s and 90s, you know what I mean? Like if I fell and skinned my knee, got a bloody knee in the 80s, the parent book move, like the compassionate move, was my parents would be like, you're all right. And I'd be like, oh, wow. Thanks for invalidating my entire reality. I'm gonna like something weird sexually because of this. Pain is all right, you say? It begins! And now what we do, it's called gentle parenting. I'm not even making fun of it. I like it. If my daughter skins her knee, you just acknowledge it. You just tell her she's real. You just go, oh yeah, big feelings. You're having a hard time. You exist. You are a citizen of this earth. I see you. And the only way you could express yourself was to start a fire in Daddy's study. I see that. I'm not even making fun of it. I like it. I just wish my daughter knew how much better she has it than we had it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to tell her, but I want someone to tell her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sometimes fantasize like a portal could open up and like a ghost could come out, like a Charles Dickens, like a friendly ghost with a top hat. She could come out and whisk my daughter away and take her to a scene from my childhood so she could compare. You know what I mean? Like a Christmas Carol, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example. I was giving my daughter, Leela, her name is Leela, I was giving Leela a piggyback, and she's tall like her dad, so I'm feeling her on there. And then she let go with her legs, but she held on with her hands. And she got me on an exhale, so it was dire. She doesn't know how the human body works, so she's laughing. I'm tapping, trying to tap out. She doesn't know what the that means. She's not a Rogaine fan. We're raising her right, you know what I mean? So I had to break her grip. I broke her grip. She lands on her feet. I turn around, and she's sad. And then, Portland, I apologized. And I meant it. I was like, oh, baby, you wanted to choke Daddy? I'm sorry I couldn't provide that experience for you today. And it's moments like that that I wish the portal would open up and the ghost would come out and take my daughter's hand like, come, child. I'll take you to a moment in Peter's childhood when his father apologized to him. And they go in the portal, and it's just perfect darkness and silence. My daughter's like, but Spirit, there's nothing here. And he's like, exactly. Yeah. Whenever I've wanted my dad to apologize to me for hurting my feelings, I always just end up apologizing to him for having hurt feelings. And that's not a big laugh line, but if you go home feeling a little bit less alone, that's also my job. You know what I mean? Sure. And then a portal opens and a ghost takes me to my dad's childhood. He's 6 years old, he already has 2 full-time jobs. He's eating a broken glass sandwich. I'm like, oh, sorry, sir. Yep. We all have our reasons, don't we? Love you, Pop. Love you. You know what I wasn't ready for as a dad? There's this weird phenomenon, how much more you love your kids than other people's kids. And I know, that's not a polite thing to say. But if we can't talk here, you know what I mean? Let's talk here. It's a real phenomenon. I love all children, but I love my baby girl so much more. You can't help it. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm not proud of this story. But I'm also not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? Like, we were at a birthday party. It was in a park. My daughter was 3 years old at the time, and there was a carousel. She had never seen a carousel in her life. She was transfixed. She lit up, and I went up to her and I said, baby, I promise we're gonna ride that carousel, you and me, before the day is done, we're gonna ride the carousel together. She smiled. It warmed my heart. That's a sacred thing. That's a daddy-daughter promise. You don't mess around with that. A couple hours later, a friend of mine who knows I made that promise comes running up to me and goes, Pete, it's the last carousel ride of the day. So I scooped Leela up and I ran as fast as I could across the field towards the carousel. We got there just in time. We got in line. At that very moment, my friend Scott, that's his real name, that's an unnecessary betrayal. My friend Scott runs up to me. He's white as a ghost. He's out of breath. He goes, Pete, have you seen River? I can't find River. You couldn't find his kid. We were in line. It's a biological urge. They were letting people through the turnstile. I'm not proud, but this is a true story. I went like this. I went, oh no. River. What was she wearing? Blue overalls? And then I was whisked away by a wooden horse with a frozen face. As soon as the ride started, I regretted it. This is true. So when the ride was facing the park, I would keep an eye out so I wouldn't feel like a total piece of shit. So it was like this. It was like, River! You can't help from a horse. What would I do if I saw her? Stay put, baby! Help is coming, not from me. I'm engaged in whimsy. Yeah, they found her. That would be up if I was like, and she's gone. Yeah, she's gone. I really regret my decision. I should have lent a helping hand. She was barely gone one carousel ride. I want to care about everybody. There's just so many of us.
I don't know how she puts up with me. We had to leave the city and move to the suburbs during the pandemic, and we had to live around rich people. And I grew up poor. I don't really know how to be around rich people. No offense if you're rich. I don't like you much. I'm sorry. It's hard to talk to you. One of the neighbors was so obnoxious with his wealth, he would use seasons as verbs when you talk to him. He goes, we summer in the Cape. Can we winter in Aspen? I'm like, go to hell. How about that? Can you go summer in hell for a little bit? He goes, where do you summer? I'm like, in front of a fan. Dependent upon the humidity, but a lot of August I'm oscillating. I don't know about you. I never got to summer anywhere because my parents would spring into financial decisions and we would fall flat on our faces. So, bring me back some taffy from the Cape, Jeff with a G, you piece of and let my dog ruin your lawn. It's weird going from the city to the suburb. I don't know how to own anything. I'm around all these professional homeowners and I'm just like, I don't know how I fake it. It made me so anxious and so nervous. One day I was just standing outside of the house looking at it like, why'd the bank give us this? Just staring at it like, how do I take care of this thing? It could have been a minute, a year. I have no idea how long I was out there, but my neighbor just showed up. And he's like, what do you do? I call that neighbor Street Dad. I got a guy named Street Dad. I borrow all his He just like showed up. He's like, what are you looking at? And I wish I was honest. I wish I was like, I'm afraid. I don't know. I'm not ready for this. Can you please make sure I don't burn this down? Instead, I panicked and I tried to sound cool. I'm like, I think I'm going to switch to natural gas. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't have a clue. Just going to switch. He looks at me, he's like, dude, we already have natural gas. I had my out, but I had to double down. And I'm like, no, like more natural. Like I want to have the most natural gas on the street. He goes, you mean like propane or something? And I went, my tummy hurts. And I ran inside and I've been hiding from him ever since. I don't know. I look through the blinds. I'm like, is he out there? I got to stay inside. I don't know how to do it. I hate moving. I don't know if anybody's moved recently. It sucks to move. I have a weird thing. I I realized this last move, I don't know how to properly dispose of a crucifix. Is this anything? I don't know what to do. How many of you were raised Catholic? Who was raised Catholic? And who's not anymore? What'd you do with all your old Jesuses? I don't know what to do with these Jesus. I've accumulated, I have a Timberland work boot shoebox with 9 Jesuses. I have a baseball team of Jesuses that I've accumulated over the years in a box in the back of my closet, and every time I move, I'm like, the Jesuses. I don't know what to do with them. I want to leave them in the next place I move from. So the people that move in are like, did a vampire hunter live here? Is this Van Helsing's old place? I don't know what to do with them. One guy told me throw them out. And I'm like, no, I'm not throwing out 9 Jesuses. I'm not religious, but I totally believe in bad luck. You know what I mean? If I throw out 9 Jesuses, when I die, he's gonna be the real one. Like, there's no way. Ain't gonna be Buddha or nothing. I'm gonna get up there, he's gonna be like, no room at the inn, dude. You threw out 9 of me. I want to carry him around with me, and like when a lady's bugging out at a coffee shop because there's too much like oat milk in her latte or whatever, just want to slide a Jesus to her. Like, looks like you need him more than I do right now, man. Just back my way out of there. If it was a Buddha, it's easy. You put it on the curb and a divorced white woman will build a yoga studio around it, you know? But nobody wants a jaybird.
I was reading an article about how scientists are trying to find a way so we can drive cars with our thoughts. Yeah, we need to stop these scientists. Because the thoughts that you have when you drive, these are not good thoughts. Someone cuts you off, then you're like, I like to end their life. And now your car is like, okay. The car and brain should not be connected, right? The car is fast and metal, the brain petty and vindictive. That's not the worst idea we have with cars, though. The worst idea is flying cars. Like, ever since I've been alive, we've had this fantasy about the future where, oh, we'll make cars fly and traffic will be better somehow. Can we stop this? This is a horrific idea. We've had regular land cars now for over 100 years. The verdict's in. We're not good at driving them. We crash into each other all the time. Like, round of applause if you trust other drivers. Just one person, anyone? That's with 4 directions, forwards, backwards, left, and right. Now add up and down to the mix. How do you feel about that? Today's world, you get rear-ended. Flying cars, top-bottomed.
Watching TV with my husband is difficult, but at least it's not watching TV with my dad. That is a whole different experience. My dad's the guy who, during an action scene, he is counting the amount of bullets coming out of a gun for accuracy. And the second they go over the allotted amount of bullets for that type of gun, he has something to say about it. You think you're just watching a movie, he's silently fact-checking. Ah, come on. 47 bullets and a Glock. This isn't real. Really, Dad? The bullets is what made it not real? Not the zombies they were shooting?
You know, you're 14, that summer when you're 14 and you don't have a job. Dads just hate it. They hate it. He's up there sleeping. Not working. Up there farting around playing his video games. Get a job. Get a job. He's like, you gotta get a job. I was like, how am I gonna get a job? I'm 14. I think it's illegal. He's like, you're gonna print off some resumes and then hand them out to businesses. I was like, resumes? What am I gonna put in the resume? Never had a job. I kid you not. He made me print off a big stack of resumes. All they said on it was, raked Judith Hoy's leaves. From October 1995 to October 1995. A banner career. And then he would just, on the way to work, he'd drop me off in different parts of Ottawa and just be like, there's some businesses there. And he'd give me bus fare to bus home. And it wasn't just like restaurants. He'd like go to an office tower and be like, go up there. I'm like, an office? I don't know what kind of Depression era economy you think this is. I remember, this is a true story, what I'm about to tell you. I remember this. He was like, oh, they're handling some businesses. And I remember I got in the elevator, and I was like, I don't know, 6. Maybe the best businesses are on 6. And then the doors opened, and I got out, and there was a secretary there, and she's like, hello. And I was like, hi. And she's like, can I help you? And I was like, I'd like a job. She goes, okay. Where would you like a job? I'm like, here. She goes, here. I go, yes, here. She goes, you want a job here? I'm like, yes. I kid you not, she said this. She goes, but this is the unemployment office. I like randomly walked into the unemployment office, didn't read what it was, and was like, I'm a little boy, I've raked leaves. Give me a job.
Being married means I'm a team player now. Team player over here, team player. Thank you. So when my wife asked me to go on a ghost tour of a Revolutionary War fort, I said yes, even though that sounds like shit. Would I want to do that? It's a terrible idea. Yeah, put me next to scare me people. You know who I'm talking about. Life's not horrifying enough for you. You gotta go, why go to a haunted house when you live in a haunted world? But fine. I went. I was dreading it. And it ended up being, after my wedding night, the second best night of my entire life. Because the tour guide was what is the term? A Every time he mentioned something scary or supernatural, he immediately debunked it with a perfectly logical explanation as to what had really happened. So I meet the tour guide, we're there, it's very dark out, and this guy, he's got a 3-cornered hat on, big ass bushy mustache. This guy's like 6'5", 370, he's a mountain of a man, sword on his hip. If walruses had a navy, he would be an admiral. He'd be a full bird admiral in the walrus navy. It's the craziest sentence I've ever said. So we get to the first stop on the tour, and the guy goes, all right, everybody, gather around. Now, if you gaze across this fort, what do you see? Nothing but green grass everywhere. However, if you look at this 2 foot by 4 foot rectangle, you don't see any grass at all. And as a matter of fact, grass stopped growing here, legend says, right after the final execution was carried out here in this very location. It's almost as if the grass is too haunted to grow here. Or perhaps no grass grows here because it is the lowest point of the fort. And whenever it rains, all the water congregates in this 1 2-foot by 4-foot rectangle, rendering it impervious to seed. Is it a ghost? Or is it science? Who's to say? And people are confused. This is not what they signed up for. I'm thrilled. This is what I signed up for. I didn't know it yet, but it was. So the tour continues, and we get to the next stop on the tour, and the guy goes, all right, everybody, gather around, congregate. Now, I need everybody here to be quiet. What is that sound you hear? What is that sound? Listen up, what's that sound? That's right, silence. Can't hear nothing. However, multiple times over the year, we have our guests stay overnight here at the fort. We do a little camp out. And multiple times at 4 o'clock in the morning, our guests have heard a loud shrieking noise break out throughout the fort. A sound reminiscent of Mrs. Fredrickson when she found out that her husband, Colonel Fredrickson, the master of the fort, was beheaded by a cannonball in battle. And she was so upset, she hurled her body off the parapets of the fort, screaming all the way down until her body crashed into the ground, and she died. They say that noise was her ghost. Or perhaps that noise happens because we're in an area native to the northeastern red fox. And their mating season is late October, early November. Oh, I don't know, right around the time of this tour right now. And the female northeastern red fox's mating call is eerily similar to that of a bereaved woman. Is it a ghost? Is it a horny fox? Who's to say? And I have pissed my pants laughing. I'm with urine. People are furious. There was a lady on her phone looking up a refund for the tour that she was currently on. So we get to the final stop on the tour, and we go to what I believe was the old blacksmith shop. And this part was actually legitimately creepy. This part creeped me out. So we walk through this kind of a makeshift entrance, and there's like candle light, flickering on the walls. You hear the howling of the wind. It was sinister in there. And the tour guy goes, all right, everybody, circle up. Now, you might notice that we walk through a little makeshift entrance. That's because that main door, it's not stuck, but it would take many a strong man to open up that door. However, every once in a while when we're closing up for the night, we have multiple tour guides report that they see that door wide open. It's almost as if the ghost of the blacksmith, who literally cooked alive in this very location, swung that door open to get one more breath before he passes on to the other side. Perhaps it was his ghost that opened up that heavy door there. Or Perhaps that door's open because we're 1.5 miles away from the airport. And when those big old military planes take off, they create a sort of suction. A suction, I don't know, strong enough to open up that big old door over there? Who's to say? And this woman snaps. She goes, God damn it!
Sir, how long have you been giving tours at this fort?
20 years.
In your 2 decades giving tour of this fort, have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever seen one ghost?
My guy goes, Madam, I have noticed in my life that there is a direct correlation between one's level of education and whether or not they see ghosts. I have a PhD, so no, I've never seen a ghost.
But to be honest, guys, with what's going on today, I just kind of do whatever fits my own narrative. Like, I have a white friend who goes, standardized testing is racist. And I actually agree with that because I do not do well on my SATs. So I go, yeah, I agree. He goes, it doesn't apply to you, Mike, because you're a straight white. I go, it does apply to me. If the test is racist and I'm not a racist, I'm not going to do well on it. I go, what did you get on the SATs? He goes, 1580. I missed one question. I go, good job, Hitler. Now I'd like to talk about God. I am Catholic. Anybody? Well, for the rest of you guys who are going to hell, when you're Catholic, what you do is you go to church, you light a candle, and you say a prayer. But I'm a very competitive Catholic, so before I light my candle, I blow everybody else's candle out. Because I don't want God getting confused between the nonsense prayers and the ones that are very important. I think even if you're an atheist, you have to admire Jesus as a historical figure. You know, I think he was great, and I don't think he deserved his death, you know? All he did was, cure leprosy, wash people's feet, and just, multiply loaves of bread and turn water into wine. I mean, the guy was a walking after party, basically. And he did not deserve his death, you know? And you know who else didn't deserve their deaths? The guys who were crucified next to Jesus. They were criminals. They were horse thieves. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you guys that stealing a horse is the right thing to do. It's not. But it's not crucifixion wrong. Even for Roman times, that's a bit harsh. That's why in the Bible, there's so many letters to the Romans. People were writing in, Dear Romans, how about you stop crucifying people for class 3 misdemeanors? You ever hear of community service, Romans? Or house arrest? Now the story goes, there's a bitter horse thief and a contrite horse thief, and we're all supposed to be like the contrite horse thief and ask for forgiveness. But I actually understand the bitter horse thief. The bitter horse thief had a lot to be bitter about because he's being crucified with Jesus, who has a huge following, even at that time, you know? So Jesus got all the headlines, and Jesus got all the merch. Let's face it. I've never been wearing a cross and had someone come up to me and go, which guy was that? Was that the horse thief? Now, miss, have you been to Israel? Not yet. Well, I went over there before the dark times. Did I learn Hebrew? No, I didn't. But I looked at it a lot. And the language of Hebrew just looks like somebody is repeatedly trying to draw a footstool over and over again. It just looked like footstool, half a footstool, one leg of a footstool, footstool flipped over, footstool flipped over, footstool, one leg of a footstool, flipped over footstool, half a footstool, one leg of a footstool, 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 half a footstool. I just wish you guys a happy Easter. In Hebrew, I just wish you guys a happy Easter. I think Jesus had a bad lawyer. Because it was after his trial, and he's waiting for the verdict, and his lawyer comes back and goes, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Which would you like first? And Jesus goes, I'm about the good news, so give me the good news. And the lawyer goes, they've decided on crucifixion. And Jesus goes, that's the good news? What's the bad news? Lawyer goes, the bad news is the Romans have a union, and the union has a contract with the state to perform the crucifixion. But they do not have a contract with the state to carry the cross to the crucifixion site. Jesus goes, why are you telling me this? The lawyer goes, they want to pay you a non-union wage to carry the cross, Jesus goes to the lawyer, he goes, who are these people that are doing this to me? And the lawyer goes, they're the Romans, but later they will become Italians. And if it matters, in the future, they're going to be way into you. They're really super into your birthday. And they're going to put nativity scenes with your whole family on their front lawn. And if anybody messes with them, they'll flip out and it'll make the newspaper. And Jesus goes, Italians, huh? Well, how about this? Everybody in their ethnicity, all the men in their ethnicity have hair on their back for the rest of eternity. All their women have mustaches. All their kids live with their parents until they're 40. And when they do move out, they move next door. How's that? Is that fun? Tell them it's from the King of the Jews.
Where I'm from, man, we eat and eat and eat, and then we complain about it like somebody made us do it, My old man, he's a big old dude, 6'3", 275 pounds. He's an eater from way back, He'd smash a bunch of biscuits and walk around like he was pissed off. I'm like, damn, Bill, you did that to yourself, And then he'd go lay down in the living room. You'd think he's about to fall asleep, and then he'd say something like, I could use something sweet if you got it. If I could get like a little half slice of cake, that'll put me back on my feet again. He's talking to my mom. He's like, Stacy, my sugar's low. That's wild being raised by a big old dude, My whole family, we're a bunch of big old people, And it's just wild to see somebody like my father. We'd be standing out in the pasture. He'd be like, son, I'm going to head to the house. I got to get a Snickers bar. My sugar's low. I remember looking right at my dad thinking, hell, it looks so high. You know what I mean? Like, you look like you got all the sugar, like a Butterfinger with boots on right now. Like, where'd the sugar go, You had pecan pie for breakfast, Dad, How could it get low? But see, people don't understand. If you don't grow up in a chubby family, you don't get it. Some of y'all, you need cabbage and broccoli and all that to function. At my family reunions, if somebody passes out, we need Skittles now. Sheila's blacking out. Somebody bring a Twix bar. The joke lands better in fatter states, Not far from I go to Nebraska, people throw their damn beers in the air, This is the only state in the country where y'all are like, this guy's morbidly obese, Everywhere else, I'm fine. I go to a King Soopers here, they're like, here's a scooter, sir. I'm like, good God. Yeah, we have elastic khakis and Velcro tennis shoes right down that aisle. I don't know. People out here are different. Y'all like to go hiking? I think that's the dumbest hobby ever. I've tried to get into it. I just can't. You act like it's gonna make my day better, and then I end up in the woods with the same going on, you know? And now I don't have a signal, so that feels good. It feels good. I don't know. I just feel like hiking's for the nerdier group, you know? The people that take going on walks too serious. You know? These boots were tested on Jupiter by NASA. They're made out of recycled Pepsi cans. I'm like, man, save some sex for us, Andrew, you know? Jeez. You're a dog, my boy, out here with cargo shorts on, my boy. Put another sticker on the Nalgene bottle, you know what I mean? I don't know. I've been on a hike or two. I mean, they tricked me into it. They came out with a dill pickle trail mix. That got me. If y'all know anything, listen, country folks, we love dill pickle. Now, it doesn't matter if you see anything that's been made dill pickle flavor, they are going after us, okay? They are marketing for people who speak like they got peanut butter in their mouth, all right? That's why I tell everybody, if the government was smarter, they'd have made the vaccine dill pickle. Alabama would have done a lot better. I know a bunch of good old boys that have been, I'll take a pickle shot. I'll take a pickle shot. Man, y'all like that more than they did. I gotta be honest. I did that in Birmingham. They were like, I think he's talking about us. Oh, no, you know. But again, I'm from a chubby state. I got away on foot, no problem, you know. I can outrun a rascal. Some of y'all got that, the scooter. I feel like, you know, listen, hiking should not be a first or second date. It really shouldn't. If anybody ever tries to take you hiking on the first or second date, it's the brokest person you've ever met, okay? And I got good reasoning on this. You should be in a restaurant or something like that on the first or second date in case one of the people are psychopaths. You should be able at any time to pull your phone out and go, oh no, my uncle's head's on fire and the Uber's here. I gotta leave immediately. But no, let me tell you what's psychotic is to meet somebody, know them for a week, and walk 3 miles into the woods. And about 2 miles in, you realize that you're dealing with somebody that lives in a bunker and loves Tucker Carlson. Now what are you gonna do? You've got to skip rocks, identify an owl. You have got a long afternoon in hell. No signal on your phone. Let's hope he's not a real sick one. You know what I mean? And you did this yourself because all you saw were visions of pine tree. We're gonna wear chacos. We're gonna make out by a creek. You blew it, Jessica. Could have fallen in love like a normal person at a Cracker Barrel or some. You know, cruise the gift shop. You eat some licorice your pawpaw loved, you know? Get a Ricky Skaggs CD. That shit's nice. But no, here you are in the woods with some guy that makes all his own bracelets. That's cool as hell. No, you nailed it, you know? And listen to me, any guy under the age of 40 that knows more than 10 species of birds has no insurance, okay? He's been in the woods too long. I don't know. The finishing move on these dates, it's the worst. It's a sunset. You want to know how often sunsets happen? Every day! And it still blows y'all's minds. Especially in Colorado, y'all almost wreck your Subarus trying to hold crystals out the window. I mean, like you've never seen a Tuesday end before. Hang around, Wednesday's gonna be pretty similar. And I'm not saying sunsets aren't pretty, okay? I'm not colorblind, hell. I'm just saying we gotta get a little bit more used to them, okay? I'm tired of people, did you see the sunset? Every day! I see it every day! I don't know. I just talk about things I've noticed, you know? Sorry for getting so worked up. Some of y'all are like, he's not a comedian, he's just pissed at us.
So yeah, man, the suburbs, there's stuff that happens there. I had a problem at this place called First Watch. It's a breakfast joint, a tough place. And I go in there and they're like, it's a 20-minute wait. I'm like, okay, I can handle it. I'll do my time, So I'm sitting in the chair, I'm reading the paper, and I guess this woman came in after me and she had a baby. And, I didn't see her. If I'd have seen her, I'd have offered her my chair, but I didn't see her. So what she did, she just stood right next to me. She starts talking to her baby. But she's talking to me, all right? Like no, there's nowhere for us to sit down. There's nowhere for us to sit down. There's nowhere for us. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't see you. Here, you can have my chair, And then, I stood right next to her. I didn't have a baby, all right? So I just started talking about newspaper. I was like, nah, newspaper, we got to give her the chair. Nah, the tactic she's using, that's called passive-aggressive newspaper. She's a gutless woman. And she is using her infant child in this charade. She's miserable. I'm not afraid of an altercation. The suburbs are crumbling. They are. I saw this the other day. I saw a Domino's pizza being delivered to a McDonald's. That's not supposed to happen, okay? I get it. It was probably the kids that work at McDonald's got tired eating hamburgers. Like, let's order a pizza. They should have told the guy to go around back. He was in line at McDonald's holding a pizza. It didn't look good. I mean, I get it. You guys been to McDonald's lately? Everybody that works there is a kid. Everybody. I want to talk to your supervisor. We'll go get Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith's 15, all right? We would go get our district manager, but his mom said he had too much homework. He can't come to work until next Thursday. Customer service is gone. It doesn't exist, right? I mean, I just have a rule now. If I give you money, you just say thank you. That's it. You just say thank you, okay? And they don't do it. They don't say thank you half the time. I was in this place and I gave them like $300. I paid $300 for something, and the girl goes, "Hey, how did you hear about us?" It's none of your business how I heard about you. Why don't you just be happy that I did hear about you? Next time that happens, I'm just gonna make something up to throw them off their little marketing research. How'd you hear about us? Well, I belong to a lot of hate groups, and they told me I was supposed to shop here. They said for every $1 I spend here, 68 cents goes back to the hate group. All the hate groups, even my favorite hate group, the I hate the people that ask how'd you hear about us hate group.
Yeah. I liked Costa Rica. I've never been there before, and I had my first massage in Costa Rica. And hot stone massage. Anybody get a hot stone massage in here? Yeah? A couple people. If you haven't got one, I'll tell you the name is not that great. Like they could do a little bit better with the naming. Something like, I don't know, very hot stone massage. Or like, hey guys, is this lava? That would also work. I don't think at any point during a massage should you go, are you ironing me? You're not removing my stress, you're cooking it. It's very rough. Also, no one ever told me that masseuses whisper in your ear. That was new to me. Okay, well, all right, going by your faces, maybe she didn't work there. Nobody. She whispered in my ear. I'm not making that up. I'm not gonna forget. I'll never forget what she said. She goes, all right, I want you to take a big whiff from my hand, and you're gonna smell citrus. And I was like, I've fallen for this before. Who sent you, Jeff?
I just like having my own thing to do during the day. I like to do whatever I want, and I get that when I'm on the road. I don't get that when I'm at home. If it's a family trip, I have no say whatsoever. Not long ago, we went to Amish country. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Amish country, but that place sucks. It is terrible. Not fun. You know what I didn't like? I'll tell you what I didn't like. The people. I didn't like the people. I found them to be very hypocritical, because they're like, we don't believe in electricity, but we'll use it if we need to run your Visa card. And I don't like that attitude. And I told him, I said, go big or go home, Ezekiel. Don't plug up, dude. It's a slippery slope. And he didn't like me, probably because his name wasn't Ezekiel, and I kept trying to guess what it was. I was like, Abraham. No. Jebediah? No. All right, I'll stop. The only reason I agreed to go in the first place was if I was allowed to take pictures and document the whole trip on social media. And the first time I took a picture, I get scolded by this Amish guy. He's like, sir, we would appreciate if you're going to take pictures, you didn't take them of us. And I said, why is that? He goes, pictures give people a sense of pride. We don't like to do things that make us feel proud. I'm like, you're charging $3,000 for a kitchen table without any chairs to go with it. I'm pretty sure you're proud of that table, all right? Why don't you worry about filling in that mustache? Because you look silly. I don't care how good your pretzels are. I'm never coming back here again. Are you kidding me? Not proud? Really? Why don't you tell me for the 5th time how you put that barn up in one day, okay? I don't need this. I left him a scathing Yelp review. I never heard back from a manager.
So my birthday, I was angry and I was driving. Everybody knows when you're angry and you're driving, you crash. So I was speeding really hard. I get pulled over, right? The cop gets out of the car. It's a black cop, so immediately I'm like, yeah, about to get a discount. So he walks over, right? He goes, let me see your license registration, please. I panicked and I gave him my Applebee's gift card. He goes, you trying to bribe me with an Applebee's gift card? Get out the car. And when he said that on the inside, I was like, it's my birthday. But on the outside, I just turned 19. I'm trying to be tough in front of my brother. I'm like, I got a car, don't matter to me, cuz. Oh, you gonna put cuffs on me? Okay, you think it's the first time I've been in cuffs? Because it was. I was like, these are so cold. And he goes, what's up with your attitude? And I was like, I ain't got no attitude. But I said it like that. So he starts to put me in the back of the cop car. As he's doing that on the inside, I was like, it's my birthday. But on the outside, I'm like, it's my birthday. And I peed on myself a little bit. It wasn't like a full amount of pee. It was right before the cutoff point. I was like, ooh, that was almost unstoppable. And so I get inside the back of the cop car because he wouldn't let me in the front. And he goes, hey man, what's going on? And I was like, it's my birthday. Everybody forgot. And then he checks my ID, sees it's my birthday, and says, all right, man, get out of here. I was like, are you serious? He goes, yes, I'm serious. Hurry up and get out before I change my mind. And I was like, oh, snap, man, but like I'm in cuffs right now. And he says, oh yeah, my bad, let me get out. Then he gets out, he unlocks the door, he uncuffs me, goes, hey man, just slow down. I was like, thank you so much, officer. I start walking back to the car, hit that little spin move, hey. You know that spin move where you try to wipe all the tears before your brother sees you crying? I did that one. And I get in the car, my brother's like, I already heard you crying. I was like, I don't care, it's my birthday. I'll cry if I want to. Like, you would cry too if it happened to you. And, the cop, he pulled up right next to me. And he rolled down the window and says, hey man, happy birthday. Pulls off. I'm like, wow, this man just stole my Applebee's gift card. The worst birthday ever, man.
I hit a cop car with my car. I don't recommend doing that. I was driving home with my fiance. We were just a few blocks from home. We were passing by this cafe that I go to from time to time. I noticed it peripherally that they were open later than usual. So I turned my head like, oh, they're open later than usual. When I turned back, the words police were getting closer and closer. I rammed into the cop car's bumper, and my fiance, to her credit, didn't say anything, but I could just feel everything she was thinking. I was like, you're right, you're absolutely right about all of it. The cop car, we're at a light, the cop car turns off to a side street. So then I turn to my fiance, like, should we just get the hell out of here? Like, it's like, no, we can't do that. So then I turn and follow the cop and pull up behind him. Now all of a sudden it's like I'm pulling him over. Like, maybe I work for the NYPD now. So then we're just sitting and waiting. Cop finally gets out, ambles over. First thing he says is, bad idea hitting a cop car. I was like, yeah, actually, it wasn't my idea.
Just happened. Then he was kind of like pacing around. Like, remember when you were a kid and your parents were almost like searching for the punishment? They were beside themselves. So I'm waiting. Finally, he's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this. I was like, that was my solution. Then he goes, you were never here. Which I thought was almost existential. Like, are any of us ever really, truly here? Then he turns and walks back to his car. As he's about to get in, he turns back and says, oh, are you okay? I was like, yeah, we're fine. Are you okay? He's like, yeah. Gets into his car, drives away. I turn to my fiance and say, I don't know what these black folks are complaining about. That could not have been a more pleasant exchange. I felt safe. I felt protected. I felt like my life mattered.
Here's the most awkward thing I can think of. If you're ever around a couple who's been together for a long time, and they're at a party, and they start doing an impression of one another, just get the out of there. It gets mean so quick. It escalates. They know too much. You're hanging out, and they walk in, you're like, oh, look who finally got here, everybody. Mark and Brenda, finally. And Mark's like, well, you know, Brenda, is my hair perfect? Hey, that's fine, Mark. We're just joking around. It's fine. You can be late. It's all right. Nobody cares. And Brenda's like, you know, Mark, I got fired for being a racist last year. You didn't even do a voice, Brenda.
Here's a sport I can't watch. Baseball makes me want to die. Nothing happens, and it happens slowly. And the players don't care. They finally put a clock on it, but they need more clocks on it. It's the only sport where the players don't charge onto the fields. They just take their time. Everything is taking their time. They just kind of meander out. Shoelaces untied. They got a big gulp, smoking a cigarette. And you're like, all right, I guess we're going to start. And they're like, nah, we're going to play catch for about 5 minutes. While you guys wait. We're going to throw some grounders, play a little catch. Matter of fact, we're going to do it every time we switch sides. Catch starts again. So you watch that, and then you're like, all right, I guess now we're finally going to start. No. Now we're going to watch a guy in a magic white circle practice swinging a bat. He's been swinging it since he was this big, but he's like, how's this go again? Like, huh? Like that? True? And then finally he steps up to the plate and you're like, all right, now we're gonna go. And after 10 seconds, he's like, time out. I just need a couple more. I haven't quite, this. And then he finally digs in and now we're gonna go. No, we're not. Now the pitcher and the catcher, they got a little game they like to play. Where the pitcher looks at the catcher and he goes, guess which pitch I'm gonna throw? No, that's not it. Guess again. No, warmer. No, fuck all these people. Who gives a shit? Keep guessing. Finally, he gets it right. The guy throws the pitch. Batter doesn't swing. Whole thing starts all over again. Bullshit. Get rid of the catcher, get a bucket of balls, and just start whipping balls at the guy. Not next to him. What is that? Throw it at him. If you can hit him, he's out. That's the rule. Now he's going to swing at every pitch just to defend himself. And no more resting on each base. Oh, I'm safe on the bag. No, what are you, 7? Keep running. You keep running until you're tackled by a guy from the other team who's carrying the ball. And a bat. Every player should keep a bat in their hand throughout the game. I want to see 18 guys jacked up on steroids, frothing at the mouth, swinging bats at each other. That I would watch every night.
Saddest song in the world is Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. But not Margaritaville as it was written. You got to think about what Margaritaville is now. Because now Margaritaville isn't a fictional location where some made up, relaxed dude like, I guess I screwed things up, whatever, que sera. Ooh, thatched roofed huts, white sand beach, I'll get over it. No. Margaritaville now that you know it's a real brick and mortar restaurant that sits in the parking lots of shopping malls throughout the country. If you listen to the lyrics of that song, but that's the setting, that's the darkest shit you've ever heard in your life. Not some fictional island that's in the Caribbean. How do we get to it? Stolen jet boat? Maybe one of them airplanes that has hot dog buns instead of wheels, so it can cruise right up onto the beach. No, Margaritaville number 218, St. Paul, Minnesota, let's say early February. It's the tail end of a lunch rush. It's a community college dropout behind the bar just wiping off laminate menus. And there's a man sitting at the bar by himself, openly weeping into a basket of coconut shrimp. Some people say that's a woman to blame. But I know. This is my own damn fault. Hey, Terry, you want to get your together? There's families in here right now, bud. I get that you're a bit broken up, but we can't be like this. My assistant manager's here, and you're looking real overserved right now, all right? I can box this up, and you could eat it in your van, but I can't have this. That's a Pee-wee soccer team in the back room, all right? Let's get it together, okay? Can I get you anything else? I'm just looking for my lost shaker of salt. There's one on every table. What the f*** does that even mean, man? Why are you wearing up flip-flops? It's freezing outside. So pay less shoes across the parking lot. I'll give you the money for boots. That joke will be even better when I learn more lyrics to Margaritaville.
I got married 2 years ago. But we didn't go on our honeymoon until last year. Yeah. We went to Italy. Yeah. Boy, they are Italian over there. You think you're prepared for it, because, like, it's Italy, and then you're sitting at a cafe in Rome, and the server comes over, and he's like, okay, so first of all, we know do spaghetti. And you're sitting there like, oh, my God. The racist didn't go far enough this time. We were in Naples. We went to Naples, and in Naples, I saw 3 people riding one Vespa. 2 of them were smoking unfiltered cigarettes, and the third was holding an open bottle of red wine. It was a toddler. It was a toddler holding the wine. In Naples, they use toddlers as cup holders for wine. We went to the Vatican on our trip.
which as a Jew does feel like a secret mission. I felt like if I made it all the way through without getting detected, I should get to kiss the Pope. And it's just like, mwah, you didn't find me. He'd probably be cool with it, right? This Pope, isn't it still like the cool Pope right now? Isn't it still? Yeah, the Pope was just like that's his energy. He's like, hey, call me Rick, how are ya? Yeah, like, you know, he doesn't do the big hat, he does a little Catholic yarmulke, that's his energy, right? Kirkland signature robes, that's the Pope. You know who I feel bad for is the next Pope. Because he didn't sign up for all this humble stuff. Right? If he ever wants to go back to full Pope hat strength, he's gonna have to do it gradually. Or people are gonna talk. He's gonna have to, every week, wear a slightly bigger hat. He's gonna be in meetings at the Vatican like, okay, so first order of business is, and one of the cardinals is gonna be like, Your Holiness, is that a bigger hat? No. It's a different hat. It was scary, Italy. A little bit. Because as you're going around the country, you're learning a little bit about its history. And I was reminded that not too long ago, Italy used to be a fascist country. In the 1930s and the 1940s, under Benito Mussolini, they were fascist. And that was crazy to me because this is also the country that invented the ravioli. And it's just hard to hold those two ideas in your head at the same time. Although, I guess if you lived in a country where one person invented something as impactful as the ravioli, you might be more willing to believe that a man could be God. And then I thought about it some more, and I realized something startling. Many of the countries that have given us the finest dumplings on the planet have, at one time or another, succumbed to fascism. Think about it. Russia, dumplings, fascism. Poland, dumplings, fascism. China, in my opinion, the finest dumplings on the planet, but also, occasionally, unfortunately, fascism. So I guess the question that we need to ask ourselves as Americans is, do Hot Pockets count? Because otherwise,
So I'm in therapy. Anybody here in therapy? Oh, wow, that's a nice response. Usually it's just one person that's like, help. I'm like, oh. Let's talk to you. Yeah, I think therapy is amazing, but I guess not everybody always needs therapy. Some people do need therapy. And you can usually tell who those people are because they say things like, I don't need any therapy. I prefer to be a burden to my loved ones. You're like, sir, this is an Arby's? Why are you shouting? You're alarming the children. I had to work on my self-worth in therapy because I kept attracting some of the wrong people. One of my friends told me this quote. She said, once you know your worth, you'll stop giving people discounts. And I was like, well, slap my and call me Groupon, baby.
Everything's expensive in New York. I went to buy new glasses, eyeglasses, went to the boutique place. I go, how much are these glasses? The guy said they're $1,000. I was like, oh, that's kind of expensive. He's like, well, think of it this way. You'll have them for 3 years. It's like $1 a day. Well, when you put it that way, it sounds more expensive. If I asked you how much these glasses were, and you said you have to give me $1 a day every day for 3 years, I'd be like, wow, that is a pricey pair of glasses. I'm doing the math in my head. I'd say that's roughly $1,000. Why don't I take $1,000, buy 2 pairs of $200 glasses, and also a round-trip ticket to Barcelona? No, I'm glad we're traveling again. A few years ago, I went to Bangkok. Almost didn't go. Saw a video on YouTube called The Scams of Bangkok. This dude was a little paranoid. He's like, if you go to a museum and you see someone smiling, total scam. If you go to a restaurant, they have noodles on the menu, your identity's just been stolen. If you show up at your hotel, there's a front desk, call Interpol. Classic flim-flam. Can't believe I've barely done any crowd work. What do you think? How's it going? What's your name? What do you do, Chris? Design engineer. Holy shit. I don't think I want to do crowd work tonight. Design engineer? What does that mean?
I design recess lights, track lights.
Okay, all right. I'm in the business, I get this. I was just looking at how great these recess lights are tonight. It was good talking to you, Chris. We just took a recess from being funny for a while. Yeah. Holy. I pulled that one out, huh?
You know, I'm a big Dr. Phil guy. Dr. Phil, just such a, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but the way he'll just chop you down and then throw to commercial. Brilliant comedic timing. Just, hey, you are, hey, shut your mouth, you little We'll be right back. And just every time, hilarious. I don't know what the episode was about, where that context was headed, but hey, Nathan, look at me right now. Look at me. I don't like your attitude. I don't like your energy, okay? You're 16. I don't know how you got out of bed. Okay, you're dressed like a goddamn WNBA ref, okay? You're on my stage right now. I don't like the way that your eyes are looking at I want to hit you, dog, but I'm not gonna, because you got secrets, okay, Nathan? And we got to get to rock top to figure out why you're at rock bottom, because your heart's being driven into the ground. It's a depressive submarine, and you need help, okay? Give me one reason, Nathan, why you're not a loser, and I'll give you 10 reasons why everyone in your family wishes you were dead. We'll be right back. We'll see if we get Nathan to step back from that ledge, my friend, third eye blind style.
There's a lot of rules now, right? You can't do a lot of stuff. But the one thing I won't do is I won't guess gender. I just don't do it. I go, hey, right, when I was younger, I used to go, hey, you, and my mom would go, that is rude. Turns out it's the most woke thing you could ever say. Who knew construction workers have been ahead of the game this entire time? I was in San Francisco getting a coffee one time, and I walked in, and the person working had a name tag on, and it said Eric, and Eric had a beard. I don't pretend to know where Eric's life started, but that dude, that day, I'm pretty sure he was a dude, right? And so I said, hey, Eric, can I get a coffee? And he goes, no problem. And I said, all right, just 1 pump of vanilla, please. And he goes, yep. And then he turned around and put 4 pumps of vanilla in it. And I go, that's going to be too much vanilla. I'm going to be eating Little Debbie zebra rolls with that coffee, and that's too sweet. So I was going to say, excuse me, sir, but instead of saying sir, I freaked out and held the S, trying to think of something else that started with S till I ran out of breath. was like, excuse me. I'm a snake. And then I left without my coffee. I'm gonna retell that story in 3 chunks. Paid for coffee, told another person I was a snake, then I left without my coffee. And my friend waiting outside was like, where's your coffee? And I was like, snakes don't have hands, idiot! I was so embarrassed I held on to the lie for 2 more blocks.
It is weird that products are designed now to like make us feel certain ways morally. And it's funny because like no one knows this, dude. The first company to do this was Stouffer's. They did this years ago. I think I was the only one who noticed. Stouffer's had this thing, it said, let's fix dinner. That was their whole campaign. They didn't do anything. They just put a fact on all their boxes of food. The fact was families who eat together more than 5 nights a week are 50% less likely to have children who abuse drugs and alcohol. That was it. You would just go, yeah, okay, sure. It's got nothing to do with Stouffer's. Like if your mom's at home microwaving your dinner 5 nights a week, there's a good chance that she does drugs and alcohol, dude.
I'll take it somewhere a little bit lighter right now. Any cat owners in the room? Do we have any cat owners? Yeah, give it up for cat. Here's the thing. I recently became a cat dad, guys. I am a proud cat dad. And like, I never liked cats. My whole life, I never liked cats. I was always a dog person. Grew up with pet dogs. Thought I'd always be a dog person. But a stray cat showed up in my backyard one day, and I was like, whatever, fine, I'll take care of you. And I love the cat so much. I mean, she has taught me so much about the world. But if I was to say the main lesson my cat has taught me, it's just how good it is to be hot. Because she's like a really cute cat. When I saw her in my backyard, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start giving her free stuff. I'm going to start... Who knows? Maybe if I give her enough free stuff, she might even let me start touching her. I don't know. Meanwhile, there's all these possums and raccoons in my backyard. I'm on the phone with animal control like, hey, can you guys come kill these ugly animals in my backyard? They're trying to get into the free stuff I'm giving my cat for doing literally nothing different other than being more attractive than them. And I want them dead.
So we had guinea pigs growing up, and we kept them in our garage. And in the hot Ohio summers, they absolutely died in there. And my sister reminded me, we named one of the pigs Brownie, which in retrospect is extra sad. She was out there straight bacon at 375. And my mom felt awful, okay? So she let us give him a proper burial in the backyard. And me and my sisters took those hard-bodied pigs, not like ripped, but like rigor mortis hard, and we buried him in the easiest place to dig. We put him right in the sandbox. And then a couple of neighborhood dogs came along, snarfed him right up. It was a tragedy all around. And I really feel like it could have been avoided if we just had a dad. I don't know what dads do, but I assume it's regulate the garage temp. They're always in there, tinkering around, planning their escape. No, my dad didn't escape as much as he was asked to leave. Escorted off the premises. Some of you know this about my dad. When I was little, he moved down to Orlando, Florida to become an actor, which is not where you go. He did land a few gigs. He was an extra in the television series of Swamp Thing. He was a truck driver in that. And that's it. And they took things into his own hands, started his own business, and now he's in the sign spinning biz. He calls it live roadside commercials or character directionals. He likes to devise a character and then present it to the cars. He's a leprechaun in front of this Irish pub called the Carryman, for example, and the rest of his characters are available on his website. So we grew up, around a lot of costumes, like thrifting and going to Ray's Circus of Value and stuff. For example, like he loves a morph suit. You know what those are? It's like what Olympic speed skaters wear, but there's like no hole cut for your face. So you're just like in a single lycra suit, just one color, head to toe, no skin showing. He wears an orange one in front of the Orange Julius. It doesn't rain that often in Orlando, and he called me one time after a shift. He said there was a sudden downpour and I almost waterboarded myself. I was like, I couldn't breathe, it was stuck to my face, my fingers are covered, the zipper's on the back of my head, I nearly died. I was like, I had to get into the car, I was so embarrassed. I was like, it's only embarrassing when it's wet? Or
Yes, my name is Ismo and I am from Finland. Woohoo! Yay! Woohoo! I grew up speaking Finnish. It's very, very common in Finland. And I did learn English back then. I learned English, they teach English there, but when I moved here, I learned that it's not the same English that you have. The English here, it's different. I think the biggest difference is there's so many of these things here in America. These, when you shorten a thing, down to just a few letters. I think it's called acronym. Like there's so many of those, like FBI, YMCA, KFC, like so many of those. And I've noticed that people here seem to assume that every single person knows the meaning of every single one of these acronyms. Even people who moved here like 4 hours ago. From day one I moved here, people just say to me things like, yeah, I'm going through TSA at JFK. You want a PBJ? I have a PhD and I take CBD for my ADD. And I'm like, what the hell are you saying? What is this English? I thought I know this language. Because they teach English in school in Finland, but they mostly teach words. Remember those? I know so many words, but not these acronym things. Because even official papers here assume that you know these things. I moved here, I had to fill out a form. First line on that form, D-O-B. No explanation. Just D-O-B, empty space. Now I know it's date of birth, but back then I was like, this could be anything. Dead on the beach. No. Then I did my first show at a comedy club in America, and the club said that, hey, you have to fill out a W-9. And I was like, what is that? And he said, it's a form for the IRS. Well, what is that? And then he said, you shouldn't say that. Don't say that. You should say WTF. And I was like, what is that? Because back home in Finland, we just don't use these acronyms that much. Like now we have a little bit more, but when I was growing up there, we had two. We had only two. UFO, HIV. Only two. And I don't think we even realized that they were shortened from something. Like we didn't pronounce them like UFO. We just said UFO. And we still say it like that. We still do it. It's faster. But here it's everywhere, and people assume that. Turns out, even in Canada, I went to Vancouver, Canada, first time ever. Immediately when I arrived there, people asked me that, hey, have you ever before done a show in BC? And I was like, you mean more than 2,000 years ago? I don't think so, no. I was so young.
Where do you find the low-income whites of this great country of ours? 2 words, Waffle House. Waffle House seems to be a headquarters for the low-income whites. Or if you're in the middle of the country, it's called a Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrels are just upscale Waffle Houses. We're in Nashville. You have Waffle Houses and Cracker Barrels. Can you say sweet spot? What's your mindset when you go to a Cracker Barrel? I want the unhealthiest food sold in public, but I still want to impulse buy a rocking chair. Where can I do it? Does such a place exist? It does. It's called the Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrels are closing. Sorry, whites. Sorry, whites. Cracker Barrels are closing. Sorry, whites. I'm sorry, whites. But so are Red Lobsters. Sorry, blacks. Sorry, blacks. I'm sorry, blacks. That joke works better if there's more blacks in the room. Maybe someday, right, Nashville? We don't have Waffle Houses in the north where I live. I live in New York City. We have Starbucks. And I don't like Starbucks. I don't like the pretentious energy in Starbucks. You walk in, everybody's on their laptop. I guess writing their screenplay. You know what I think they're doing? I think they're laundering money. Something borderline illegal. So I walk past the pretentious people and I wait in line for the bathroom because I'm in my 50s. And that's what you do when you're in your 50s. You use the bathroom every place that you go. That's less of a joke, more of a medical fact. I don't know how it is here, but the Starbucks in New York, someone's always in the bathroom for a long time. It's one guy, he's really in there. I don't know what he's doing in there, but he's in there real good. I can tell you that. He's living his best life. I don't know if he's finishing college or starting a podcast, but he's in there. He's in there real good. And just when I think he's coming out, water starts coming from underneath the door, indicating that he's not coming out anytime soon. The last time I was at Starbucks, I was waiting in line for the bathroom. The man in front of me had a dog that was wearing a sweater. I hate it. It's so condescending. The dog looked like he went to a better college than I did. It looks like he could bite somebody and he's already dressed for court. The line's taking too long. I exit the line and now I'm waiting in the line for coffee, which is also very long, but it's moving, and I eventually get to the front and the girl with the purple hair goes to take my order. And I go, medium black coffee, nothing in it. She goes, don't you mean grande? I said, miss, I don't think it's the right time to be teaching me Italian. There's a man swimming in your bathroom. None of this is the case at the Waffle House. I went to my first Waffle House last year on the road in Mississippi. First of all, I love the name, Waffle House. House is in the name. It's very welcoming. And it's ironic because everyone in the Waffle House looks like they live in their car. I'm talking Waffle House now. I live in New York City. First Waffle House, Mississippi. I walk in, I'm wearing a shirt with sleeves, so I was overdressed. I go to the bathroom. There's no code on the door of the bathroom at the Waffle House like at Starbucks. There's no door on the bathroom of the Waffle House. Come and go as you please. Little thing called freedom you might have read about in your history books. I finish my business and I'm walking back to my table, and it's Mississippi. I'm looking at the back of people's heads, and it's mullet, mullet, head injury. Mullet, mullet, head injury. Mullet, mullet, head injury. Mullet, mullet. I get back to my table, and that waitress is a talker. OMG. I knew everything about her in a couple of minutes. Mother of 5, all cesarean. I know that because she showed me the scar as I was eating. Things move quickly at the Waffle House, guys. 1 minute you're discussing menu options. The next minute you're running your finger along a cesarean scar of a woman you just met. 3 of the 5 kids she had during the lunch rush at that Waffle House. The other 2 she had in a bathtub full of moonshine. Mississippi baptism. She's telling me about her life. Turns out she had just gone through a painful divorce. She was married to her cousin. Get off your high horse, Nashville. It's Mississippi. People marry their cousins. And I have empathy for that, because if you're dating your cousin, you kind of have to marry your cousin. Because how do you break up with your cousin? What do you even say? Look, I just want to be family. She starts to tear up talking about her divorce, and I'm compassionate, so I reach up, I touch her face, I wipe away her tear, and I remember I said to her, I said, Scalene? That was her name, Scalene, named after the white trash of all the triangles. I said, Scalene, you did the right thing by getting them youngins as kids, out of that toxic relationship. And out of my peripheral, which is a word they don't understand in Mississippi, I see a man choking. He's a big redneck, no disrespect. And out of instinct, I yell, is there a doctor here? Not realizing that I'm at a Waffle House. Probably not. Probably not a doctor at a Waffle House. Now I looked at the people's faces and I thought to myself, more a chance of a doctor than a dentist. No one has teeth in Mississippi. Are you guys gonna get these jokes or no? So I think to myself, Michael, you graduated from high school. You're the closest thing to a doctor at this Waffle House. You gotta do something. So I start to make my move. He's a big redneck, he's choking, I'm coming from behind him. I don't want to startle him, but I know I'm in the South, so I get close and I whisper in his ear, I whisper, I'm white. I lock my hands and I start the Heimlich maneuver, which is gay marriage in Mississippi, and someone starts recording it with their phone, I assume for Pornhub, and after about 15 thrusts, which is what I'm good for, piece of Scrapple shoots out of his mouth and hits another man in the face, also named Scrapple. Scrapple Jenkins, he was the sheriff. So I head back to my table and I'm sitting there contemplating the meaning of life, and my waitress, Scalene, she comes walking towards me, and I notice she's limping. And we're friends at this point, so I call out to her. I say, Scalene, baby girl? do you got the scoliosis? She said, no, Ferris wheel accident. Did you guys know Mississippi is 50th in education, but number 1 in Ferris wheel accidents? It's the silent killer. There's 2 types of people in Mississippi. People who've been injured in a Ferris wheel accident and people who will be injured in a Ferris wheel accident. It's an epidemic.
Any Chinese people in the crowd? Any Chinese? 中国人吗？你们是中国人吗？你是中国人吗？
I'm from Australia, mate.
Oh, you're from Australia, okay. 我说中文你会听得懂吗？
一点点。
一点点，哇，挺好。那我跟你说中文，你就跟我说中文，没关系。你父母是哪里的？
中国人。
哦，中国人，中国哪里？
上海。
哦，上海，哇，挺好，哇。
谢谢。
Don't worry, they get uncomfortable. The crowd get uncomfortable because I'm prepared for the future and they are not, so it's difficult. Also, can you please verify that I was actually speaking Chinese? Because I know some people are like, oh my God, I saw the most racist thing yesterday. This white guy was on stage, he was like, any Chinese people? And then he chung-chung-ching this guy at the second table. I was like, fuck, cancel this guy already. Like, oh my God. Cancel him, seriously.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, it's weird having a food allergy because, like, you know, people on, like, weird diets all try to recruit you. When they find out, they're like my brother was a vegan for a while. He's like, dude, you got to go plant-based. He almost had me. Like, I do like the idea of not hurting animals. I was like, that is pretty compelling. But I have a problem where I always see both sides of things. So I also kind of dig the idea of killing a creature and absorbing its powers by eating its flesh. So now I have to go to Whole Foods, you know? If you have a food allergy, you have to go to Whole Foods. They have all the stuff you need. It's annoying because it's all so expensive. The food there is just ridiculous. And it's also like a culture shock to go from like a normal Philadelphia grocery store to Whole Foods. You go to Whole Foods, everyone's all like, ah, they're all peppy and like, well, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm used to like regular cashiers at like an Acme. Just ladies just fucking slumped and defeated, dude. Just a grandmom with 2 big wrist guards on their arms and slugging a deer park like, ugh. Just wiping tears off the belt. That's what I'm talking about. You go into Whole Foods, they pick up every item. They're like, oh, what's this? I never had this before. It's like, of course you haven't. You're a cashier. You can't afford this shit. Get the fuck in the bag. Everything there is expensive, dude. Everything at Whole Foods is super expensive, and the reason why, it's kind of a weird reason. Like, every product at Whole Foods is designed to make you feel like you're a good person. Like, everything. You pick up a bag of sugar, it's like 2% of the proceeds of the sugar go towards some kid in a fucked up country. The kid is so sad. He's having such a bad life, and his mom's mean to him, too. And if you buy the sugar, we'll give him some shoes, maybe, and you're like, oh, that's nice. I get all invested. I'm like, my boy's out there. And you fill your cart with all this stuff. You're like, dude, I am a good guy. And then you go check out and you see the sales tax. And you're like, that goes towards bombs for that same kid. Dang it. Shoot. It does. But then I bright-sided. I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll get the shoes first. That'd be nice, you know? Like, pilot flies away from decimating a village. Like, you see the moccasins on that kid? Holy shit. It's nice to know there's good people in the world doing important work.
I think there should be maybe a soft holiday around now, at least something in the calendar that tells people specifically, stop saying Happy New Year. I think that goes on for a little thank you for agreeing. I don't know when the date should be. Some people, they discuss it. I don't know. I don't like it on January 1st. It could be midnight. People be like, Happy New Year. I'm like, chill out. Nothing happened yet. It's like, you're about to jinx us. We're about to have a terrible year because you can't shut up. That's kind of selfish. Technically, on paper, we've had some good ones. I don't know if there's anybody paying attention. Last year was our Jordan year. Yeah, just figured that out, right? That sucks. It's all good. This one's a good one. Can anybody guess what this year is? Kobe, that's right. Can you guess what next year is? It's the year Leonardo DiCaprio leaves us. So prepare yourself now. Aren't you glad I said something? You would have been blindsided in a year. You don't deserve that. Now you can look back like, oh, yeah, that comedian did say something. Super funny, very professional. Not even that high. Last year was fine, I guess. I learned a few things. What's one thing? Oh, I learned that LL Bean is a clothing store. This whole time I thought it was a coffee shop. I don't even drink coffee, so I never walked in to fact check. I just kind of lived in this lie, just oblivious, in a bubble. I was even arrogant about it. I've even seen people with like LL Bean on their shirt. I just thought it was merch. I'm like, they must really love those coffee grounds. I was like, I cannot relate. Was supposed to go to the movies this past weekend, got kicked out the group chat. It happens, it's pretty normal occurrence. I told them I was gonna bring a neck pillow, and I think that was just too much for them to wrap their mind around. They live it in the past. I guess it's fine. You see somebody at the airport, neck pillow, you're like, yeah, this makes sense, but you see me at the movie theater, trying to get down your aisle with like popcorn, what's the thought that comes to your head? Like, oh, snap, this dude's living in 2040. How do I become a genius like that? Obviously, this guy prioritizes comfort. Which I do, that is right. Like, I just won a back scratcher in a trivia game. Thought it was a pretty mid gift and I used it, changed my life. I like scratched my own back. I was like, oh, I don't need a girlfriend. I could just do this by myself. Just supported me. I'm like, you got this. I'm overusing the back scratch. I'm using it in places I can reach. I'm in the front, just scratching away. Thinking to myself, why are we limiting this? Why are we calling it a back scratcher? It could just be a scratcher. That's real oppressive. Let your imagination go. Use it on a lottery ticket. Do whatever you want. Reinvent things. What else did we learn? Oh, I learned that July 1st is Canada Day last year. Same response I had. That's fine. That was honest. Don't be upset with yourself.
I read somewhere that the most marked up bottle of wine on a restaurant's wine list is the second cheapest. Reason they do that is got to be on a date, too embarrassed to buy the cheapest wine, picks the second cheapest, and gets destroyed. Probably the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. It's like, who can we screw over here at the restaurant? How about a guy looking for love who's also on a budget? That's why I hired you, PJ. You're an idea man. See, this bottle of Pinot Noir costs us $1.50. Let's go $600 on this one. But I love cooking shows and shows about travel and stuff like that. I was actually on the Seth Meyers show once, years ago, and the other guest was Anthony Bourdain. I got to meet him real briefly, and I'm glad it was a brief meeting because I don't want to be backstage trading road stories with Anthony Bourdain. His would be like, yeah, I remember once I was in South America, got bitten by a snake while I was trying to eat its small intestine. Oh, yeah, I was once at a Hampton Inn in Little Rock. And they ran out of Captain Crunch at the breakfast buffet. I get it. Poor guy must have had annoying fans when you're a traveling food expert. People running up to you on the street, hey, Anthony, here's the deal. I'm going to Malaysia, and I love turkey burgers. Anthony, best Rice Krispie treat in Paraguay. Let's hear it. Anthony, I'm going to Dusseldorf and I love empanadas. I need your top 5. I like that show. Chopped, that's a great show. 4 chefs compete for a $10,000 prize. My favorite part about that show is none of the chefs have a realistic grasp of what you can buy for $10,000. I was like, Chef, what are you gonna do if you win the $10,000? Well, I've always wanted to travel around the world for a year. Flying first class everywhere. Oh, you can do that for another $1.3 million. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna fly first class to Cleveland. Take a megabus to Columbus. Fly back premium economy from Columbus with a 5-hour layover in Cleveland. Then you're out of money. Chef, what are you gonna do if you win $10,000? Well, I have 6 brothers. I'd love to buy them each a Rolls Royce. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna buy 3 decent skateboards. Then you make a little sign-up sheet your brothers can take turns. Chef, what are you gonna do if you win the $10,000? I think it'd be great to buy my mom a house. That'd be the greatest. Find your mom a sweet $10,000 house. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna buy yourself an updated food processor. Then the best wooden spoon. Then you can make your mom some dip, and she can enjoy it in the house she currently lives in. Not the $10,000 before taxes dream house. Also known as a $3,000 house. Also known as a used minivan. It's fun being a comedian. Work at night, have all day to have some weird days. Had a weird day recently, went to the podiatrist, then I adopted a kitten. That was my to-do list for a Tuesday. It was great. I was at the podiatrist's office, stretched out, looking down at my little toes. I was like, oh, I can't imagine anything cuter than that. 40 minutes later, holy shit, what was I thinking? Finally found something cuter than my little toes. Little baby kitty cat. It's fun being a new cat owner, get to buy her stuff. I was on Amazon looking at cat treats. Found the brand of cat treat. There's a bunch of reviews next to it. Saw there was a 1-star review. I was like, ooh. I got to read a 1-star review of a cat treat. This was the entire review. My cat didn't like this. How's that? Guys at his keyboard, I'm going to keep this lean and mean. My cat didn't like this. I could just see that guy at home. Hey, Pockets, come here. Got some new treats for you to try. What do you think? Oh, you don't like them? Well, don't worry. Daddy will bankrupt the company. What? Just try a different brand? Don't be so petty. You don't be so polite, Pockets. I'm going to crush them. Made the mistake of getting a kitten instead of an adult cat. That's a mistake. She's adorable, but my God, I don't know what I was in for. She attacks me while I'm trying to sleep. It's gotten so bad I've actually checked into hotels. I've checked into the closest hotel in my apartment 3 different times to get some sleep. Probably $5,000 worth of hotel rooms. It's a great check-in, though. You walk in, no bags, bleeding. So you're here for business, sir? No, actually, a kitten attacked me. Oh, where are you coming in from? Look outside. See that building 50 feet away? See that light on the 7th floor? See that kitten in the window? Yeah, the one drinking a glass of rosé. Smoking a cigarette with one of those long holders. Oh, she's holding up a sign. Todd Barry is overrated. Where does a kitty learn that word? It's incomprehensible. Supposed to brush my cat's teeth. That was sprung on me recently by the vet. You got to start brushing her teeth. I was like, okay, I wouldn't have gotten the cat. Just saying, had I known, I would have considered it for 1 second. But it's too late. I love her. So I went on YouTube looking for tutorials how to brush your cat's teeth. Thought there might be one or two. There's thousands of them. All the same, none of them are helpful. They're like, here's how you brush your cat's teeth. First, start out with the world's most relaxed cat. You got that? No, I don't got that. Shockingly, I do not have that. Place her carefully on this table specifically designed to examine animals. You can get one at your local veterinary supply store for $6,000. Now take the toothbrush and toothpaste out, watch what happens. Oh my God, she took it from my hand. She's taking the cap off the toothpaste. She's brushing her own teeth. Where'd you get a water pick, baby? She snuck off to Target and bought a water pick. Supposed to schedule playtime with the cat. I don't know you're supposed to do that. I don't want to play with my cat. I'll watch Shark Tank with my cat. We'll call that playing. Come here, baby. Sit on my lap. We're going to play. Scratch, 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 scratch. $500,000 for 2% equity. Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, it's bad valuation, baby. Yeah, they better have some sales. The apartment I live in charges me $50 a month because I have a cat. It's like a little spiteful pet fee they have. I remember being in the leasing office, signing a lease. Guy's like, so it's just you in the apartment? Yeah, just me and my cat. Oh, so it's not just you in the apartment. There's also something this big living there? Yeah, she's the size of my toaster. You have a toaster? You gotta come clean with me, my man. All right, I have a couple of spoons also. Okay, we're gonna go 50 for the cat, 30 for the toaster. $8 each for the spoons. I can make that joke last 19 hours if I wanted to. Think of all the objects I didn't mention. They have cat cafes now. Coffee shops with cats roaming around in them, they're great. I went to one in New Orleans. The only thing better going to a cat cafe, going to a cat cafe alone. The only thing better going to a cat cafe alone, showing up and being the only customer at the cat cafe. It was just me and 150 cats. I was just walking around like I was the king. Tell me about the gray one. Seems a bit moody for a domestic Shorthair. Why is the tabby not playing with the ragamuffin? They should be friends. Let's try your coffee. Delicious. Coffee always tastes best when you drink it near 7 litter boxes. That's a lot of cat jokes, huh?
I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I made it through the summer without getting poison ivy, and I know that's a big deal for me. I don't know what that plant looks like. Like their hints are not very good. Like, leaves of 3, let it be. Oh, thanks for the poem, but it didn't work. This thing has the word poison in it. Is that how we're handling poisons now? Rhymes. When it comes to nerve gas, say, I pass. It's not... I've been out there in the forest and those leaves bunch up. I can't count them. I don't know if that's 9 leaves of 3 or 1 leaf of 27. So what I decided is no more nature. No more nature. Here's my poem. If it's a plant, I can't. In any event, stay on the cement. That's how I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna start treating vegetation like I treat snakes, all bad. But Greg, it's a garter snake. Well, it looks like a snake. Like, I don't know what the word garter means, but if I see a garter mountain lion, I'm leaving. Greg, it's harmless. It's not harmless. It already made me drop my Starbucks. It has done harm. Harm was done. Venti harm was done. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know poison ivy. I'm trying to learn, though. I learned this. They use it for medicinal purposes. They use an extract of poison ivy to treat joint pain. That sounds like something my dad would come up with. Like, Dad, I itch all over. Yeah, you do, but you're not thinking about your knee anymore, are you? There's a snake rhyme. You guys know this? There's these two snakes. They look the same. They have the same colors, but they're arranged differently, and one of them is venomous. So to tell them apart, they have this rhyme. Red touches black, friend of Jack. Red touches yellow, kills a fellow. Kills a fellow? Fellows aren't supposed to be killed. Fellows are in like barber shop quartets. It's for he's a jolly good fellow, not he got murdered by a snake. Here's a better snake rhyme. No snakes. If you're out there in the woods and you see a snake, don't stand still and recite poetry, because somewhere between kills a fellow and friend of Jack, you're gonna get what snake experts call bit. It's not... Snakes are horrible. They're terrible. Did you know this? If you cut a snake's head off, it can still bite you for up to 4 hours. That is true. And it's the same for clowns. Like, no, listen. No, if you see a clown head rolling around, you stay away. Like you get, like you don't. It might be a garter clown, but there's no rhyme. It's not like if his nose is red, you're dead. It's not. I don't know poison ivy. I don't know trees. That's embarrassing. Our house is the one with the big maple in the front yard. You can't miss it. I can miss it. I'm gonna miss it. Here's the trees I know. Christmas. That's it. That's the only one. And that one's gotta have lights on it for me to get it. Just give me your address. That would be a better system. That's why they have that system. Like, don't tell me about architecture. That's not gonna help either. It's the colonial house. Well, it better have a guy with a triangle hat and a musket marching back and forth. It's the stucco house. Stucco? What is stucco? Sounds like a clown that can't get out of stuff. You're like, oh no, don't go in there, stucco. You're too big. You're not gonna fit, stucco. You wear size 76 shoes, stucco. All right, I've been up here for a while. I better get to it. I know why you guys came. Let's talk about Walgreens. It's an important issue. It's a complex issue, but there's a lot of sides, you know. I mean, on one hand, you got to give it up. There are a lot of Walgreens. Like, there's several Walgreens. I mean, you're always close. I mean, it's very convenient. Also, they're open late. But I've noticed after about 9 o'clock, they're just kind of open. You ever walk into Walgreens like 11:30 and the lights are on and the doors are unlocked and there's not one human being visible? It's upsetting. It feels like something horrible happened right before I got there. Like, what, did a cheetah get loose in here or something? Did CVS attack him? Eventually you'll hear, I'm back here. Well, don't be, okay? Be up here. You're a business. You're supposed to have an up here guy at all times. That's what sets you apart from an abandoned warehouse, Walgreens. Also, when you said I'm back here, you startled me. I'm too old to ever want to be startled again, especially in an empty Walgreens in the middle of the night. Next time, maybe you could just jump out from behind the Pringles in a hockey goalie mask. That'll be fun. If you need something done back there so bad, why don't you just hire another guy? Right now, you have exactly one more employee than a vending machine. It's not a good look. You're the number 27 company in the Fortune 500 and you have one guy. There's a lemonade stand in my neighborhood, 2 girls. They have double the employees as Walgreens.
And listen, like if you're working anywhere now, at Walgreens anywhere, thank you. I mean, I appreciate you working. But let's face it, if you're the late night worker at Walgreens, you're not first string. Like you're not their best guy, okay? And you're a little weird. That's why they put you on nights. And they know that. That's why they shouldn't make you do stuff back there. They should give you 2 simple jobs. Number 1, stand next to the register. Number 2, wear some article of clothing that says the word Walgreens on it. Because when I walk in, I want to know, you're the guy that works at Walgreens, not the guy that just shot the guy that works at Walgreens. Another thing, if you're a thief, if anybody in here is like a shoplifter, or you steal, I mean, I can see a couple of you. I can see it. I wasn't going to call you out, sir, but I mean, if you're a thief and you go to Walgreens at 11:30 at night and there's not one human being visible, take a couple of things. Like, just take some stuff. That's how we're going to get a permanent up here guy, is if you dirtbags start stealing late, they will staff up. Now, listen to me. Stealing is wrong. It's bad. If you don't steal, don't start. I'm just saying, if you happen to steal from Walgreens during the day, could you go a little bit later? Like that, it's going to be better for you. You're going to get way more stuff, honestly. It's trick-or-treat in there after 11. Like, nobody's watching. And if you get in trouble, you're fine. Go in front of the judge and say, Your Honor, I walked in, there was not one human being visible. How was I supposed to know it was a store? It felt more like a place where you just take stuff. You know that take a penny, leave a penny thing? It felt like that, except for you take a lot of stuff and you leave it. You leave. You just leave. You leave. They're not good at night. I mean, they're better during the day. They're not killing it, but they're better. They're better. You go during the day, there's gonna be an up here guy. Okay, there's gonna be somebody next to the register, but one somebody. Okay, that line could get to like 7 people, still one. It's got to get to like 11, then they go, Chuck, we need you to come up front. Wait a minute, you had an extra guy back there the whole time? Now I'm angry. Okay, Chuck, when you do go up front, I better see you hustle. Okay, you better sprint to the front, and when you get up there, you better act like you're sorry for what you did to everybody in this line. Just get right to work. Scan, no chit-chat. Scan, no chit-chat. Matter of fact, if you're a customer at Walgreens and you get to the front of the line, no chit-chat from you either. You can talk to the cashier, but business conversation only. This goes mostly for you old guys, okay? I know that's the highlight of your day, sir. I know you've been waiting to get in there all morning and chat it up with the cashier. But we don't want to hear it, right? You think we're going to get in the rain tonight, literally? Shut up, old man. Shut up, we're not retired back here. Just get to your business talk. We know you have business talk because there's never been one old guy that got to the front of the line at Walgreens that did not have some sort of a price discrepancy. Every time. $1.25 for a Snicker bar. The circular said 18 cents. The circular? The circular from 1756 might have said that price, sir. Also, when you walk into Walgreens, they have shopping carts. No. I have met your employees, and they cannot handle that kind of volume, right? Like, I have seen them struggle with 2 items. Now we're going to encourage people to get 54. That's a bad idea. Everybody in this room knows the unwritten rule at Walgreens, whatever you can hold in your hand, that's how much you can buy. If you need more, you turn around, you go to Target. That's a Target trip. You don't bring a Target trip to Walgreens. And God forbid an old person gets their hands on one of those carts, they'll have to shut it down. Sorry guys, Walgreens is closed. Mort got a cart. Now listen, I think you guys are looking at me like, well, this guy hates Walgreens. I don't. I love Walgreens. That's why I'm so hard on them. I mean, that's my pharmacy. I've been going to the same Walgreens my whole life, and I think they're good. I think they're better than CVS. Close, but I think they're better than CVS. And you guys are probably like, wait a minute, Greg. You said Walgreens has one employee. How could they be better than CVS? CVS has one employee for every 5 stores. That's how they do it. So, where's the checker? He's in Chillicothe right now. Like, he's just not... He'll just wait. He'll be here. Show some patience. No, hey, listen, when I'm talking about Walgreens, I'm not talking about the pharmacy. I'm talking about regular Walgreens. Like, I don't think that's the same company. Like, I bet you the regular Walgreens workers are not allowed to talk to the pharmacy people. Like, yeah, don't look at them. They're better than us. Don't look at them. I bet you every now and then the regular Walgreens manager tries to go in and tell the pharmacy people to do something like, hey guys, I was thinking today, maybe shut up, Ted, you got no jurisdiction here. Go sell pretzels, we're gonna heal the sick. I mean, Walgreens has good stuff. I mean it. Like, they're open on Christmas, 24 hours. I have never missed one Christmas at Walgreens. Like, Greg, did you go to midnight mass? No, I went to 11:30 Walgreens. Here's what I do, okay? I have a tradition. Every Christmas Eve, I wrap gifts, and I get sick of it real quick. And I go to Walgreens, and I buy a bunch of those holiday gift bags. You know what I'm talking about? It's their perfect way to say, hey, I want to spend money on you, but not time or effort, okay? Here's what I'm going to do with your gift. I'm going to throw it in a bag. I'm going to crinkle up some garbage and put it on top so we can't see what's in there for 13 seconds, and then we're going to pretend like I wrapped that gift. That gift is about as wrapped as bubblegum under a desk. It's not wrapped. My dad uses holiday gift bags, sorta. When he buys your gift at the store, they put it in a bag, and that's what you're getting on Christmas morning. And it's going to have a couple of his items in the bottom that he forgot to take out. You're like, oh, foot powder, Dad, thanks. Give me that. My grandma, Nano was the greatest gift wrapper in history. She wrapped our gifts in maps. Isn't that cool? Like, yeah, I wish I would have saved them. My grandma worked for the Defense Department in mapping. She did, and she would bring these maps home from the office. I don't know if she was supposed to do that, but she did, and it was great because I was like, oh, your grandma has wrapping paper with Snoopy's and Santa Clauses? That's cute. My grandma trusted me with strategic bombing locations in mainland China.
I wrote a joke a long time ago to try to shame myself into getting better shape, and it didn't take. I look exactly the same. I feel like I look okay from the front. I still feel good about my front profile look. Not as happy with the side. And for a long time, I didn't know what I looked like from the side. And then somebody took a picture of me when I was not wearing a shirt or sucking in my gut or aware that cameras were present. And that was a real eye-opener. That's when I realized that from the front, I look like a dude who lifts weights. From the side, I look like a dude who shouldn't because it's probably bad for the baby. It's a little rough in the middle. Part of the problem is I do work out, but I don't work out very hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like to go to hardcore gyms. I'm never going to be a CrossFit guy. I'm more of a YMCA guy. 'Cause I feel good about myself there. Right? I'm a realist. A lot of happiness in life has to do with putting yourself in favorable matchup situations. If I go to Gold's Gym or somewhere, I'm average at best. Right? YMCA, I dominate. My favorite gym I've ever worked out at was this old YMCA in Santa Monica, California. Nothing had been renovated there for probably 40 years, including most of the other members. It was like a nursing home gym. Those seniors respected my feats of strength. And they came from a classier generation that's quick to compliment, and I like all of that very, very much. Like a random ego stroke. One time I was doing the tricep press down, and this little old lady, Connie, was patiently waiting her turn, like a decent person. And then when she went to use the machine, she forgot to move the pin to a lighter weight, and she just kind of struggled for quite some time. And then she figured out what happened, and she turned to me and she goes, "My goodness, you just lifted that." "Well, aren't you strong?" "I couldn't even move it." And I thought that was adorable. I also thought, of course, you couldn't move it, Connie. Look at yourself. Like 90 pounds, old bird bones, paper mache. Are you kidding me, Con? I'm pre-gaming on creatine, whey protein shakes. You look like you're getting ready on hard candy and formaldehyde. Why don't you look at that fan, Connie? Look at it. I turn that fan to high, you're stuck to that wall. This is my gym, Connie! Part of the problem, it's not being in great shape, is my nutrition program. It's not great. I live in a house full of a lot of mixed nutritional signals. My wife, she says she wants me to eat better, my wife Lindsay, but I don't necessarily believe it. Because her actions don't go along with her words. She'll say she wants me to eat healthier, but then she bakes me delicious treats. Because she loves me through food. I think it's competing instincts inside of her. Part of her does want me to, eat really well so I can live a long time and she doesn't have to die alone. But another part of her wants to fatten me up just enough so that no other woman will ever want me. Because that makes her feel secure and safe. But she'll do this ridiculous thing where she'll make my favorite treat. Like she'll make me chocolate chip cookies with like little walnut chunks, and then I'll start to eat them and she'll be like, Dan, what are you doing? How many of those are you going to have today? I was going for all of them. I'm sorry, I thought these were delicious cookies. I didn't realize you had baked me shame biscuits and guilt wafers.
Here in New York, we dealt with that, that terrible air quality last year for like a couple days. Came from Canada. Brush fires. I don't know, it was a major inconvenience. I was like, we should do something back to Canada, right? Don't let them get away with this. I had to search all over my apartment for a mask, looking under old mail inside my couch cushions. I found one, I was like, I hope this is safer. It was not. I wound up getting COVID from 2021. That was just chilling in my mask, waiting for the get back. As soon as I put that mask on, it was like, there you go. I was like, I can't smell. Not a single Canadian apologized either. Didn't hear a single sorry, eh? That's like their favorite thing. You gotta pay attention to these guys. Something new I started this. I got into started watching more cooking shows, right? I don't know. It gave me a different perspective. You call them Hot Pockets, I call it Pizza Wellington. A little bit on the culture side right now, thank you. What else? Got into vision boarding. I thought you guys would applaud. No, it's fine, it's all good, it's all good. I got into it on my own. I saw a homie doing it. I was like, that's like adult arts and craft. I can participate. Only issue is I don't know how long it takes to have to like complete the visions. I keep getting different responses. Some people say, oh, you have a week. I'm like, that's quick. Some people are like, oh, you have forever. I'm like, that's way too long. You tell me I have until I die to make it to any beach? All right. I don't hate that. I want my vision board completed in a timely fashion. At this point, it just looks like a grocery list with cutouts. It's like Nike socks, deodorant. I even wrote a note to myself. I was like, get a sandwich named after you at the deli, right? That's motivation. That's probably the hardest thing on there. Just got a letter the other day from the IRS. Well, I got it like a year ago. I just recently opened it up. Didn't even get a chance to read it, had to throw it right in the garbage. Was not on the vision board, so my hands were tied. I tried to open it, I got like a paper cut. I was like, that's the universe. I was like, I hear you, buddy. Lost a phone recently, left that in the back of an Uber. Tried to email them to get the phone back. Driver never replied. I assume he found my phone, saw it was an Android, and then threw it out the window. That's funny? Okay. It's all good. I got another one, so we back. Still requesting that other charger, right? Nothing changed. But I tried to be patient. I waited for like a week, hoping to get this phone back. Like I said, never responded, which was tough because I forgot how hard it was to have to look at people in real life. Like it was just that or stare at my empty hand, which was a lot of back and forth. I was like, I don't want to know my future. Started wearing headphones plugged right into my pocket, just bobbing my head to silence. People thought I was rapping to myself. I was just saying, this is BS over and over under my breath. Did not appreciate that phone. That's the problem. I took it for granted. I played a lot of games. Like I would type in walking directions and then I would just jump in the car. Just to impress my phone. My phone would just get confused. Be like, how'd you get here so fast? I'd be like, whoa, mind your business. You in my pocket. I pay the bill. It's not how this works. You gotta establish dominance over your phone. Let it know that it's not that smart, all right? I give you life. It would just autocorrect words that already exist, right? It just change them, right? Like I would type in the word they, and it would just be like thus. Confusing all my homies. They'd be like, bro, you taking a creative writing class? What's happening? Talk to us. Let us in. Had a homeboy hit me up. He was like, bro, let's go hit this bar, grab some drinks. I tried to reply back, say I was broke, but it auto-corrected to broken, which ended that conversation. I didn't hear back for weeks. I understood. He probably got the message, was like, I'm broken. That's too much unpacking. Probably through the phone.
Everybody remembers their first job as a kid, man. You know, maybe you sold Girl Scout cookies, maybe you mowed lawns, you babysat, whatever. I was about 12 years old when I got my first job. I was the account manager for my granny's Marlboro miles. Okay, real ones, no. Okay, yeah. So for everybody that was either too young to remember or maybe you just had a great childhood, let me set it up for you guys, okay? Marlboro used to have this program where if you smoked a ton of their cigarettes, they'd send you free. That's right. Free stuff for doing the thing you loved most, man. The world really was a better place. And they used a point system, okay? It was 5 points per pack of cigarettes. And all you had to do was save up a whole bunch of points, pick what you wanted from the Marlboro catalog, okay? Send in your points, and they would mail you your item in the longest 6 to 8 weeks of your life. Marlboro sunglasses, Marlboro jackets, Marlboro coolers, Marlboro tents, Marlboro dartboards. I mean, they had it all, man, okay? And every item they had the Marlboro logo plastered across it. Because this was really all about marketing, okay? Because before this, the only way to advertise that you smoke Marlboros is if you walked around with an oxygen tank. And every item they had probably cost them $2 to make, you know, if that. And it was made by a 6-year-old Vietnamese kid who was definitely also smoking Marlboro Reds. Man, when they dropped this program, my granny upped it from 2 packs a day to 4. She quit becoming an addict and became an investor. And she had her eyes set on the biggest prize in that catalog, the Marlboro bicycle. Because nothing screams a healthy lifestyle like chain smoking while riding a bike. And y'all, the bicycle was 16,000 points. Now let's do a little math here, okay? That equals 3,200 packs of cigarettes. And let's say in the late 90s, early 2000s, I'm just lowballing here. Let's say a pack of cigarettes was $2. That equals $6,400 in cash. You could buy a Chevy S10 for $6,400 in 1998. That's trailer trash math, okay? And to you or me, that doesn't make sense. But to my granny, that's a free bike. Oh my God, you guys. It was wild. Y'all, our monthly cigarette budget was more than the grocery budget. One month, it was either cigarettes or toilet paper. And guess who had to wipe their ass with coffee filters? Me. She took it serious, man. She did, y'all. One time, my uncle got drunk and tripped over my grandma's little chihuahua, went airborne, okay? Dropped a whole bowl of Wolf brand chili onto the coffee table. Ruined a fat stack of Marlboro Miles I just counted out. Y'all, my grandma lost her shit. I swear to God, I saw it in slow motion, you guys. She jumped up, she chokeslammed my uncle through the screen door into the backyard. It was wild, man. She went from 0 to full-blown Undertaker in 0.3 seconds.
It was so much easier to make friends when you're a kid, right? I remember when I was 6, Craig moved in next door, he was 6. We were both just like, oh, age and proximity. That's all we need, best friends for life. Some guy my age moves in next door to me now. I'm like, if this guy talks to me, I will be furious. It's so easy to hang out when you're a kid. You just invite him over to play. You don't even have to be specific. He always comes over, we always have a great time, and we're always mad to be called for dinner. Do you remember liking life that much? That you're annoyed about dinner? Always asking to be excused, please, can I go back to my life? How much eating do we have to do in this house? Kids hate meals and bedtime. That's all I have now. Right? I call those the big two. And if I ever do hang out with another male friend now, it's never playful anymore. It's always like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. You want to get together and eat? We could like talk and eat. Best case scenario, there's a big game on TV. We don't even have to speak. We can just watch other men playing. They're playing well. I love that. Don't you love it when our favorite men play well? They always play better when they play together, huh? That play was unbelievable. Let's touch hands. That was so nice. Maybe after this we could play. Yeah, no, you're right. We ate a lot. Sleep would be incredible. You're always right. You're my best friend. I'll see you again in 2 years. Sometimes I don't think we give kids enough credit for how traumatic grade school is. Remember 6th grade, phys ed, run a 7-minute mile in street clothes? And then just straight to math. Shouldn't have worn hiking boots today. Smells like a locker room in here. You kids ready to learn about parabolas? My heart rate is parabolic. Recess is right after lunch because that's how digestion works. Yeah. Yeah, now that you've had spaghetti with milk. Seems like a good time to go run around in a parking lot. They all puked again. Good thing we have our one janitor. I think if I'd live one day on a grade school schedule, it would be the worst day of my adult life. Starting the day at 6 a.m., standing on a street corner in the rain, waiting on a bus with no seatbelts or schedule. Jostles you to homeroom. That's your coffee, is the jostle. Homeroom, you're not allowed to speak. No phones, no music, no gum. Do I have any human rights? No speaking. Now pledge your loyalty to your country. Go on, pledge how much you love America. I'm 7. And admit that there's a God. Admit that there's one God. Go ahead. My parents are agnostic. Well, I won't tell them. Go ahead. Admit that there's one God, and you can say it quiet. All right, you're free to go to first period U.S. history as taught by the JV football coach. Enjoy his unique perspective. A lot of hot takes on the Constitution. A lot of gun stuff in the pop quiz. Old Coach Hines. Coach Hines, he would time you for getting water. Kids stand in line and he would go 1, 2, 3, time. That's all the water you get as a child. Is a fast 3 seconds. I think kids are going through school dehydrated. If he liked you, he'd go 1, 2, 3, and time. That's if he liked you. Yeah.
I want to talk about these bags. And this is one of those reusable shopping bags. And this one just happens to be made out of plastinium, you know? Just a coincidence. But where I'm from in Boulder, they want you to use these bags. And if you use one of these plastic shopping bags, they charge you $0.10 per bag. Tax, I know. And it always gets really quiet during this part of the show. Everybody's like, dude, just pay the damn dime, you know? And honestly, it would not be the first time I bought a dime bag in Boulder, but it makes me mad. Because I feel like I'm doing my part. Like I say, I'm a vegetarian, I ride the bus, and I don't care if you eat me. You could tackle a cow right in front of me and start gnawing on it. I'd be like, hey, I think that's your right, go ahead, you know? And if the cow started winning, I would jump down there and start fighting the cow with you. But it makes me mad. Like I say, 10 cents a bag, right? But here's what I found, and that is that these much smaller produce bags are free, you know? So I started bagging my groceries in these, and then I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need some help to the bus stop, because I have 83 of these. You could send a bag boy, and that didn't sound right, so then I was like, bag person, and that sounded even weirder. So I was like, if you could just send your lowest paid employee, that would be great. So here's the other thing though, you know, like I go through the self-checkout and it prompts you and it says, how many bags would you like to purchase? So one day I was feeling my oats and I'm like, hey, I hit 200 and hit send, you know? So the manager comes out and he goes, "Sir, you didn't mean to purchase 200 bags, did you?" And I threw down to 20 and I said, "I sure did, man." And I made him count out 200 of these plastic bags. And then I was like, "Oprah, you get a bag, you get a bag." So, oh, thanks, man. So the manager comes out and he goes, "Sir, you have to stop. You can't do that." And I said, "You can't stop me. I bought these bags. This is America. I'm doing it." And it turns out they could stop me. There was a lawsuit and I'm no longer allowed to shop for groceries in Boulder. So.